Welcome back to Jersey Matters. New Jersey ranks last in the country when it comes to schools that are eligible for a federal breakfast program and actually participate. So what is the problem? Here to talk about that is Adele LaTourette, who is program director of Hunger Free New Jersey. First, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And so this probably explains why New Jersey had done so well for the last decade and then 1 year actually dropped.
That's exactly right. That and the fact that we created the Food for Thought campaign in partnership with Advocates for Children of New Jersey and really brought a broad partnership around the table to focus on increasing breakfast participation in our state.
So about 10 years ago, and correct me if I'm wrong on that, 10 years ago, we were one of the worst states in the country for just giving kids breakfast.
That's absolutely right.
And you rose up to 19 from being way down at the bottom. Now we're dropping again.
We are dropping again. We're very concerned about that. The positive thing is that we have school breakfast mandate legislation that's coming up, and people are going to have to serve breakfast after the bell in schools in which there are 70% or more free or reduced price students, and that's starting in September of 2020.
And now, I don't want to call anybody out specifically, but if a school can qualify for federal funding to feed children, why on earth would they not participate?
It's a very good question. We have asked it for a very long time. We have worked with a lot of schools, though, to really make sure they implement the program. But the important thing about breakfast is, first of all, yes, you have to have it. But second of all, you have to serve it at the right time of day. You have to make sure breakfast is part of the school day, just like lunch is. So, I mean, there could be a lot of reasons. The fact is that, you know, breakfast is not seen as a crucial part of hungry children learning, and I think that's a big disconnect.
But it is, right? You have statistics to prove that. Well, talk about how important it is.
Well, I mean, what we see in schools that institute breakfast after the bell, they will say to you they have seen a decrease in the number of students going to the nurse. They see an increase in just more calm activity in the room and less disruption. They just see better behaved students.
And part of it's just common sense. I mean, people know themselves. They know when they're hungry, they don't perform as well.
That's exactly right. I mean, again, I always say that what your mother told you, breakfast is the most important meal of the day, is absolutely true.
And the after the bell part, that's important.
It's critical. If you're serving breakfast before the bell, when so many students aren't there because of their parents' schedules, you're clearly not going to serve as many students as you could if you serve breakfast after the bell.
And this affects, for the most part, not all, but for the most part, low-income people, right?
Well, we are most concerned about low-income children, yes. I mean, we're most concerned because they are the least likely to have been fed at home, because those families struggle with food insecurity. So the meals that they get at school is really how they get their meals.
You mentioned briefly the new state law. Explain how that's going to work and when it goes into effect.
It'll be in effect. Schools have to comply by September 2020. And what it means is that schools in which there are 70% or more free or reduced price students, they have to serve breakfast after the bell, which is, again, critical.
So if there's somebody watching and they think this is a great idea and they have a child, if they're not getting served breakfast, they should go to someone?
Absolutely, they should go to their school. There is a lot of room for parent advocacy in this program. We have been successful in some schools where it's just the parents who are saying, my child needs this meal. So make sure you serve it, and make sure you serve it at a time where they can eat it.
And is there a place that they can, I mean, would you help with that?
Sure, they can go to njfoodforthought.org. We have a whole webpage about school meals in general, and there's contact information for us on there.
Are you confident that I still can't get over that there's schools that have federal funding that's coming their way and they're not doing it, but are you confident that this state law will make it so that the numbers will go the other way?
Absolutely. We're confident the numbers will go up. We think there's certainly additional room for growth in terms of the school breakfast program. We'll be working on that. We'll be working with schools in the education community to really make sure that we maximize the number of students receiving breakfast.
You know, the name of your organization is Hunger Free New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And I know this is one of your key initiatives, making sure that children are fed at school. But is that the entire goal of a Hunger Free New Jersey?
No, absolutely. I mean, we focus on child nutrition programs. We focus on access to SNAP, which was known as food stamps, which is the front line of defense against hunger, and where New Jersey does not rank well. So we have a lot of opportunity in that area for growth, and we're working closely with the Department of Human Services to really focus on increasing the number of people who have access to that program. I mean, we really focus on working with food pantries and soup kitchens, letting them know what's happening in the SNAP program. We worked very hard to defend the SNAP program at the federal level. There were some really harmful legislative provisions coming out that were not passed. So we really work both on the ground and legislatively at the state and federal level to protect the program.
How do people get a hold of you again?
They can go, if they're interested in SNAP, they can go to hungerfreenj.org and they can find contact information. If they're interested in child nutrition, it's njfoodforthought.org, and they can go there and find contact information and information about the programs.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in. Adele LaTourette, Program Director of Hunger Free New Jersey. Jersey Matters continues right after this. Still to come on Jersey Matters, fighting autism with karate. That's when Jersey Matters continues.